very different than you did previously. But you need a task and standards, you get your evaluation. There is an appeal process. I know Cynthia, who I'm sure most of you know very well, who's the rep, had shown me the form. There's an appeal process form to appeal. Once that appeal process is done, you can also submit, and this is important, you can submit a rebuttal, a written statement. So if you get a poor evaluation, or even if you get a good and you think you should have gotten excellent, you can write why you think a certain category was not the way it should be. That should be literally attached to your evaluation in your personnel folder. Literally attached to it. So you should look, if you submit something and then you ask to see your personnel folder a year later, you should see what you submitted attached to that evaluation. So those are the rights you do have. Evaluations in themselves, though, are not grievable, meaning you can't go to arbitration to get an arbitrator to determine, should I have gotten a good, should I have gotten a bad. The only way you really have real due process, other than putting in these rebuttals, in your evaluation is when your bad evaluations are used for discipline. Okay, so let me take you through an example. So people had a good record, we think their supervisor's coming after them. They start giving them a satisfactory eval or unsatisfactory in a category. You do your appeal, the appeal committee that has labor relations people doesn't overturn it. You have your rebuttal. This is crap, this guy doesn't, excuse my language, this guy doesn't like me, this is all nonsense, blah, 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 they're out to get me. That's attached. You get another one, you get another one. They bring you up on charges saying you've gotten 3 or 4 bad evaluations, now we're going to discipline you. You have oath rights if you're a permanent employee. We go to oath, an attorney from my office or one of our very able outside counsels represents you. We will, in that process, bring up the evaluation. Look, this is, at that point, the burden is on them to prove that you are not competent to do your job. So that just because they wrote it down on an evaluation doesn't mean they will be able to prove it later on. And at that point, the burden's on them. So they're going to bring your supervisor in and say they're not good at that. We'll cross-examine the supervisor. We'll put you on the stand. We'll say, no, she's great at her job. He's great at his job, blah, blah, blah. That's where you get full due process, when bad evaluations get to the point where they discipline you, okay? So that's important for you guys to know.